Hi students, in this video I'll walk you through the detailed form filling guidelines for SNAP 26 and I will also show you how to apply to the individual institute programs. Now these two processes are integrated, so when you apply for SNAP, just immediately after that you will be able to apply for the programs. One important thing, and I generally don't say this, but you should watch this video till the very end to understand the importance of the individual application deadlines. So please watch it till the end and don't make any mistakes while filling the form and just strategizing your application of the individual programs. So let's begin. Now, first things first, regarding SNAP, the deadlines and the application deadline as well as the date of SNAP, we'll have a look at that. So the payment and the registration closes on 25th November. You have enough time before we get there. The admit card for each of the tests, when will it be live? These dates as you can see on screen. The individual test SNAP 1, 2 and 3 will be conducted on 13, 19 and 26 December. You can either appear for 1, 2 or all 3 attempts. The result announcement will happen on 12 January. Now we have another video called how to crack SNAP in which I have covered the entire test preparation strategy. So I would suggest that you have a look at that video. And I have mentioned there that it is important for you to think of either 2 or 3 attempts purely because there's no normalization. We'll also quickly look at the new format so that all of you know it. Most of you know it already, but let me just quickly take you through it. So there's a new section that has been added this year. The test overall remains the same in terms of the time limit and the marks, etc. But a new section is there. Two other sections. We see reduction of 5 questions each in general English and the logical reasoning section, and a new section ethics, morality and values. But in the how to crack SNAP video, I've covered all of this in detail. Please have a look at it. So let's begin the application process. Now in the description of this video, you will find a link from where you can begin your application process. I'll also give all the important links in the description. You can check it out because there's brochure as well. There's B School zone that I would want all of you to use so that you can keep a track of all the deadlines. All of those links are there in the description. Now, one important thing that Symbiosis has done this time, so I'm making this video on 21st August, the registration is starting today and has started now. So if you apply within the first week, and they've done something similar to what ZAT did this year, that if you apply on day 1, you get city of your choice. If you apply within the first week, you get some additional benefits. It's pretty similar to that. So if you apply within the first week, you get 2 benefits. The first is access to official SNAP AI assistant with exclusive preparation tips. We don't know exactly what it is going to be, but that's what it says. And mentorship and AMA with SNAP toppers. Okay, so these 2 additional benefits you will get. But again, it's not necessary that you have to apply in the first week itself. If you want, you can do that. If you want to wait for some time, you can always do that, right? Because I understand that not everybody would have decided by now whether they want to take SNAP or not. So you can always decide before the registration deadline, all right? Now you will click here, which is register now, and then begin the registration process. So first is it will show you a screen like this. Now, obviously you don't have your SNAP ID at this point of time. So you will have to click here, which is you don't have an account, click on register. At the registration stage, you will have to provide your email ID. And before you do that, there are some terms and conditions that you will have to go through. So they have given something about browser settings and all of that. You can just go through it. It's pretty straightforward, nothing complicated. So just move on to the next step. Once you do that, this form opens up, the registration page. And on the registration page, you have first thing is the applicant name. Now they have mentioned very clearly that it has to be as per 10th or 12th mark sheet or certificate that you have. Then comes date of birth. It's a drop down, you can fill it. Then mobile number. Then there's a primary email and you have to retype the primary email. Then you need to select your category, whether you are general, SC, ST, PWD, etc. So the category drop down is there. And then whether you are an NRI candidate. Now at all the places they have given individual instructions wherever it is applicable. For example, applicable to institutes other than SIMS, SIMS specific category will have to be filled appropriately after choosing SIMS program. So when you fill the rest of the registration form when you actually log into the dashboard and then start putting preferences and all of those things, that time there are program specific eligibility. So you will have to look at that, and only if you fulfill it, then you can apply for that program. When you come to this NRI question, it says all international students, foreign nationals, non-Indian passport holders, etc. are required to register on scie.ac.in for admissions. So if you say yes, they ask you one more follow-up questions. Post that, you will have to register on SCIE. So if you want, you can let me know if you have any concerns or queries there, and I can help you out. But for now, we'll just focus on the process for the domestic candidates. Nationality, you will select appropriately and then move on. Now on this page, they will also ask you to decide at this point of time what all snaps you're going to appear for. Does that mean that you cannot add the preference later? No, you can. So here you can select all three. For example, if you've decided you're going to appear for all three snaps, please go ahead and do that. But if you, let's say, pay for only snap 1 now, and tomorrow you want to come back and maybe register for snap 2 or snap 3, or you want to do it after a week or whatever, you will have an option to do it. Okay, so the first thing that you can do is register for at least one of them, obviously, and then if you want to add more, you can add more, as long as you do all of this before the registration deadline. So here you can see snap test 1, 2 and 3. One good thing that they do is they also give you availability or how quickly the seats are filling at that particular place. So let's say if you're watching this video in October, for example, you might see that at a particular place you don't have seats. Then what do you do in that case? Choose the nearest city. So they have given all of that information in terms of what all cities and states where the centers are. It is there in the brochure, so you can have a look at that. Again, I'll give a link in the description. Right now, I have chosen Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Thane. So I can see available, available, available. It's just first day of registration. So pretty much everything is going to be available. And that is why it's better to register early. I will not push everybody to register in week 1. I'm just saying try and register as soon as you can, so that you don't wait till the very end, because you may not have a particular slot city available. So it says the earlier you pay, the higher are your chances to obtain a test date and test city of your choice. Obviously, because it may happen that a particular venue, the capacity has been exhausted. That is why try and register as soon as possible. Okay. So for now, I've chosen all three, but then I decided that, okay, I'm going to just pay for first. So I chose this. I will show you and you will see how the dashboard will look because of that. Okay. Then you have to upload your passport size photo. I'm sure by now you have done it for multiple exams, so I'm not going to tell you more about it, but you can upload the photo, click on that declaration button, and that's it. So it will show you thanks for registration. It will give you your Snap ID, your email ID will be displayed, and it will show click here to make payment. Now, what are you paying for? So when you click on payment, you are paying for the Snap as a test. So right now, because I've chosen only one snap, in this dashboard, firstly, you will see the photo that you uploaded. You will see your Snap ID, all right? So those two things on the left-hand side, make sure that you check it, right? And then here it will show you name, email ID, category, date of birth. Now it is showing me I have to pay how much? 2550. This is for each snap attempt. So I have taken only first snap, and that is why it is asking me to pay 2550. If I had chosen 3, it would have done 2550 into 3. All right. So for each attempt, it is 2550, and that is why you have to plan this properly. Once you make the payment, you can't go and tell them that, okay, I'm not going to take one of these, so give me money back. That's not going to happen. And that is why take your time to decide what all snaps you're going to take. All right. So now then just proceed, make the payment. Once your payment is done, you will get transaction successful message and receipt number and all of that. And then you can continue with the rest of the form. So the next set of questions that you will see now are going to be regarding work experience. Two simple questions. Do you have work ex or you don't? So if you say yes, what is the full-time work ex in months as on 31st May 2027? So again, this is very similar to ZAT, where they ask you a future date in terms of work experience, and you're supposed to calculate it. So you will make some assumptions that, okay, if I'm going to continue to work, what sort of experience I will have. You never know what will happen. For example, today I might calculate that I'm going to have 30 months of experience by then, but I might end up quitting in December, right? You never know. But so make those assumptions, calculate, and then you can enter it, because this is as on May 27. So you of course don't know exactly what you will have. Whatever you have today, if you're working, add the remaining months and then enter it. Okay. Then comes the educational details section. Fortunately, not very long, so they don't ask you about name of the institute, university, board, all of those, state, city, nothing. You just need to enter 10 percentage, 12 percentage, then highest qualification. So if you say bachelor's or master's or whatever, they will ask you percentage for that. But if you say I'm in the final year of graduation, they will not ask you percentage as well. So highest qualification, bachelor's I have chosen. Then it is asking me what is the aggregate percentage of UG degree. Then UG education type and qualifying degree. So what you select here determines your eligibility for some of the programs. So some of the programs need you to have engineering degree, for example. If you have chosen commerce, obviously you will not be eligible for those programs. All of that information is available in the brochure. Now it's very long brochure and I didn't want to make video too long. So that's why I'm not covering each and everything out there, but it is there in the description, so you can check it out from there. For most programs, everybody is eligible, but there are some programs where you need to have engineering. So just check it out once before you apply. Anyway, they have done error proofing. So I tried doing that where I've chosen commerce here, and then I selected one of the programs which requires engineering. So it showed that you need to have engineering, so you're not eligible for it. With this, the last question is UG university name. You can mention it. If it is outside India, you can choose university outside India. If it is not available, you can say others. Then comes the most important part of the form. So far I have registered for one snap and I have paid for it, the first snap that is. If I want to add more snaps, I can always come back to the dashboard and do it before the registration deadline. What I can also do here, and this is where the integrated part comes into picture, that I can apply to the individual institute programs. I don't have to go to the respective institute website and apply there. Through this dashboard itself, I am supposed to apply. So here I can see all the programs. There will be 25, 30 odd programs that are out there. So you have MBA SIBM Pune, MBA INE at SIBM Pune, MBA SIMHRD, and so on. So let's say I want to apply for whatever 5 programs. I'm going to select them, and on the next screen it will ask me to pay for those programs. At the same time, it will also show me if there are any eligibility conflicts. So if I'm not eligible for something, it will highlight that, and it will also ask some follow-up questions. For example, the selections that I did, and before we get there, as I said in the brochure, all the eligibility, all the program-wise eligibility is mentioned. So please have a look at it. This is the link. Anyway, it's there in the description. So here you will see, okay, graduate from any recognized university, etc., with minimum 50%, right? That is like the common eligibility. You will also find details of any reservation, any special consideration or seats that are out there. For example, when it comes to defense special category, which all programs are there where that reservation is applicable. All of those details are there. Please have a look at that. Then they will ask you for address for correspondence. Again, pretty straightforward. 1, 2, 3, the address lines. City, state, pin code, phone number, alternate email, and retyping of alternate email. Extremely straightforward section. Just move on. And now you will see that it is showing that I have paid for only snap 1. Okay, which means I still have option to select snap 2 or snap 3 if I want to do that, or both. Okay, so let's say I filled form today. After 3-4 days, I think, okay, I should be taking one more attempt at snap. I will come back to the dashboard, click on snap, let's say 3, and pay for it. Okay, so throughout this process, you can log into the dashboard and change your preferences. Of course, once you make a payment, there's nothing that you can do. All right. So right now I cannot go and ask them to refund my money. I'm not going to take snap 1. I instead want to take snap 3. That's not going to happen. But if I want to add more tests, I can do that. All right. So here it will give me that option. Then there is a question whether you want to apply for the Dubai program of Symbiosis. Again, yes, no. And regarding the commerce selection that I had done, I also selected MBA IB SIIB. So it asked me for educational specialization program. Then it asked me some other follow-up questions. So I tried selecting multiple programs, and then there were different questions that were asked. There were different pop-ups. So you could see for a particular program, it talked about domicile requirement and all of it. Again, for this, the defense personnel, so 5% reservation, do you wish to apply under this category, right? So again, yes, no. If you're applying, if you're eligible, obviously, then please read the document and then only select those programs. And now comes the most important part, and that's why I said in the beginning that you watch this video till the very end because of this screen. And the problem that I have with this screen is all of these dates. Now the thing is, I selected those programs. So now it is, my dashboard is showing that I paid for snap test 1, Great. For all of these programs, firstly, it is 1000 rupees per program, which is fine. That's how it has always been. Even in the last several years, that has been the case. They haven't changed it. So for every program that you select, you need to pay 1000 rupees. Okay. Again, all of it is mentioned in the brochure on the website. So everybody knows it. The thing is, right now it shows not paid, obviously, but all the deadlines are 31st December 2026. So for somebody who is registering for the very first time, that person will look at this and think that I have time till 31st December, but that is not the case. And I'll give you an example from last year, which will make it evident to you, because I'm guessing some of you know it already because you were there last year as well. You took Snap 25. But for those of you registering for Snap for the very first time, this will lead to confusion and chaos. So we are going to anyway reach out to Snap Authority and tell them to fix this column that you see at this point of time. In case you're watching this video later, you might see that this has already been fixed. But anyway, right now at least this has not been fixed. So that's why I'm saying do not look at these deadlines, because for SIBM Pune, it is showing 31st December. So somebody who is taking Snap for the very first time, doesn't know what happened last year, will think, I have enough time. I can take all 3 attempts of Snap, and depending on how my test went, I will pay for SIBM Pune's MBA program. But SIBM Pune has a different deadline. And let me show you how it looked last year for some of those institutions. I am not covering all the institutes because I just want to make a point rather than giving you the exact dates, because for most of the programs, they have not yet announced. So this is how it looked last year. Okay, now let's look at last year what happened. Again, 3 attempts happened in December. The Snap result was announced on 9th Jan 26. Okay, so this year they have mentioned the result will be announced on 12th Jan. So 12th Jan 27 is when Snap 26 result will be announced. But last year it was 9 Jan. Now you look at the actual deadlines of the different institutions that are out there. So firstly, for SIBM Pune, if you actually go on the institute website right now, you will see deadline is 12th December 2026. For somebody who doesn't know this very well, that person might think that the deadline is 31st December, but it is not. The deadline is 12th December because Snap institutes can be classified broadly in 3 categories. The institutes that close their deadline before Snap is conducted, institutes that close deadline after Snap but before Snap result, and institutes that close their deadline after Snap result. Okay, let me illustrate this. So let's look at SIIB and SCM for example. Last year, their deadlines were 13 December and 5th December. This is from Snap 25. So again, this is just for your reference and understanding. This year's dates have not been announced, and that is why I'm giving you last year's dates. So SIIB, SCM, both had deadlines as 13 December and 5th December. This was before last year's Snap was conducted. Okay. Then SIBM Bangalore, SIDTM, and SIMS. Okay. All of these were before Snap result because they were on 22nd December, 8 Jan, and 8 Jan. So this is after Snap has been conducted. So people who are deciding to apply to say SIBM Bangalore, SIDTM, SIMS had the option to wait till the Snap get over, and after Snap they can decide, okay, depending on my performance, how I have done, assuming I'll be able to get a certain percentile, I can decide whether I want to apply or not. For students who are applying to something like say an SIM, SICSR and SIMC, they had enough time because the deadlines were 14, 15 and 19 Jan, which is after Snap result. So all of these are after Snap. Okay. So that is why don't go with these deadlines that you see here, at least at this point of time. What you will have to do is keep a track of these deadlines. So let's say I'm thinking of applying to SIBM Bangalore, right? Now last year I know that the deadline closed before Snap result. So do I have to, let's say, pay immediately right now, today? No, not really. But as long as you pay that 1000 rupees for the program at SIBM Bangalore before its deadline. So these deadlines currently are misleading. As I mentioned, we will write to Snap and ask them to fix this problem. But I would suggest that all of you keep a track of deadlines. It's very, very crucial. And all of those deadlines, what we also do is we have something called B School Zone. I'm guessing most of the students are familiar with that, but in case not, please have a look at this. And we have an application deadline page where we maintain this. And if you think something is not there, please let us know. We will add that. So we generally track all the deadlines. Right now, you might not see a lot of data there because very few institutes have given their deadlines, but as and when they come, we keep updating them. So right now, you don't have to take a call that I have to apply to all the programs. But institutes that close before SNAP. So traditionally, these are the only three institutes that have closed before SNAP is conducted. And that is why those of you are thinking of applying to SIBM Pune, SIIB and SMHRD can ideally even pay today. So if I'm registering for the form and I know that I'm going to try for these three colleges, let me pay and finish it off. I mean, why wait till December? Okay. But for those of you who are on the fence, right, I'm not sure whether I'll apply, I'll not apply, you can wait for some more time. And depending on your mock scores, you can decide what I want to do. But you have to ensure that you're doing it before the institute's deadline. And every institute will have its own deadline. It's not something like this where everything has common deadline. That has never been the case. And that is why keep a track of this. That's all I wanted to say. This is the most important thing because somebody who doesn't know this will believe that they have common deadline and might end up missing on some very good opportunities because of that. Okay. So that's it from this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope it has helped you. And please look at the description section where we have all the links. And if you have any questions, let me know. Regarding the test preparation, we have how to crack Snap video. So please have a look at that. And thank you so much for watching. Wish all of you all the best and I'll see you soon.